Hey everybody, welcome to the next edition of Gun Cranks. As you can see, we've got new faces today. Well, no, new old. You guys are new old faces. We like to shuffle things around and keep everybody guessing who's going to be on, who's going to be cranky on any particular episode. So we fired Brent Wheat. He's gone, no longer with us. Well, I couldn't say it with a straight face. He's not feeling well today, so we're giving him a few hours off before we get him back to work. Anyway, I'd like to welcome Ashley McGee, our digital editor, and Nic Lenze, our video editor. So welcome, folks. How are we doing today?
Definitely cranky.
I was going to say it's Friday, that we're filming this, even though it doesn't publish on a Friday. So no complaints here. TGIF.
I'm trying to look in the screens there. I do not see cocktails, but so you must have them out of frame or something, right?
Well, it's only 2:00 here, so it's not quite that time yet. Give me another hour.
Although, Ashley, you still have young kids like I do at home, so it's kind of any time you want to sneak one in.
Yeah, what is time anymore, right? When you have little kids?
You know what? Speaking of little kids, what just occurred to me, Brent, Roy, and Eric are all out today. That seems awfully fishy to me.
That does seem very suspicious.
So Brent says he's sick. Roy said he had some appointment or something. And I think Eric said he was traveling, but I'm probably calling foul on that. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about early carry options. I think it's probably safe to say if you carry concealed, you might have gone through an evolution of gear and strategies and carry methods and ammo and all that stuff. I know I did. It is possible that I made some mistakes early on and learned a few things the hard way. So we're going to do some mea culpa and maybe share some, maybe even some poor choices in efforts that we might help other people out there avoid some of those pitfalls. What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We'll try to be kind.
And keep things within the legal bounds. So
first carry gun, Nick.
My first carry gun was a first generation California compliant Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. At the time I was living in California, so I didn't have a choice. Maybe I shouldn't talk about carrying in California. Well, I was living somewhere other than where I'm living now, and that was my first carry gun.
So what's a compliant shield? Is that limited to 3 rounds?
So you have to have the first 2 rounds in the magazine have to be wooden dowels, and then after that you get a blank, and then after that it's pepper spray rounds.
Nice.
Yeah. So good luck. So that was actually my first gun. And then that was the first one that I carried, and I started carrying around 2017 in a variety of subpar holsters and stressful situations. Stressful situations being like, oh man, everyone knows that I have a gun on me, which I'm sure everyone experienced that, like their first month carrying.
Now, was that an assumed made-up assumption on your part, or were you using such a lousy holster that you knew for a fact people could see what you were doing?
No, I mean, I maybe did too good a job covering it up to the point where maybe I couldn't get to it. Shirt, jacket, balaclava wrapped around me, a
locked
scarf,
briefcase.
Exactly, yeah, the whole nine. But that was definitely interesting. But the holster that I started with was just kind of a cheap $40 holster. But it was just something to get me going, and it actually lasted me like a year. It was a Blade Tech holster, and I was surprised at how well it lasted. It allowed me to go through a bunch of other holsters until I found one that I liked.
Wow. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm listening to that going, wow, your first holster you spent $40 on? Mm-hmm. Like, I think my first holster was about $4.99.
It was just duct tape around the gun.
I won't say anything about brands, but it was, one of those kind of felty things with a plastic clip. I don't even know if it was sewed on. It was probably stapled on or something. And,
like a clothespin or like a chip clip?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, hey, this looks good. It's super thin and concealable. And then, when your gun ends up on the ground unexpectedly, it's like, maybe there is something to quality holsters, right?
What about you, Ashley? What was your first gun?
Well, I actually wrote about my evolution for concealed carry in an upcoming article for our concealed carry special edition. I guess I'll just go ahead and spoil that a little bit, but please do go ahead and read that when it does come out. It's a great annual issue. My first one was a Ruger 380 LCP. And my mistake was buying it at a gun show without ever having shot one, because it's a great pocket pistol. But as far as putting rounds through it and getting range time and all of that, it's not the most fun to shoot. It would be, it's great for if you're going on a run or going to the gym, something like that. But smaller is not always better.
It's funny you say that, because I did, I won't say how long ago this was, but it was measured in the decades. My first strategy, because I had all the answers, of course, starting to carry a gun for the first time, was I went small too. I went, how small and hideable, can I get? And I did an LCP for a while. I did one of those, what was Kel-Tec P32 or P3AT or something like that. A couple of those things, and a Beretta Bobcat, and 22, all kinds of little ones. It took me a while to figure out the benefits of a larger, and I mean physically larger gun, not necessarily bigger caliber, just something that you could handle a little more. Definitely went through that phase.
Yeah, I dipped that direction after the Shield. I ended up with a SIG P238 HD, which is a nice little gun, 380. It's all stainless, so it's heavy. It basically feels like you're shooting a cap gun when you shoot it. I found eventually that kind of the same thing, even though it was a 380, going to the range with it wasn't necessarily that fun, and I wasn't practicing enough. And so it ended up being relegated to a very rare ankle carry gun, which I don't carry on the ankle. I carry on the ankle in one very specific situation. Otherwise, I kind of run out of practicality for that gun. Now, a couple of episodes ago, Tom, you alluded to a story that I had mentioned about my concealed carry journey, so I figured I would just tell it. This is more of a journey through holsters and belts. I had a holster that had the loops that go under your belt and clip back over. And I was at a Cabela's and had to do some natural business. So I go into the stall, and one of the things that not a lot of people think about when they start carrying is, what do I do with it when I have to go to the bathroom? So I found myself in that situation, not having answered that question. And I tried to bring the holster back to sit in my pants, but now it's under spring tension, and it went whoop and launched my gun, and it went skidding across the floor in the middle of the bathroom. Fortunately, I was the only person in there. But also, if you are a gun-friendly establishment, please have your stalls go all the way to the ground. So I learned a lesson that day.
Sounds like that scene in True Lies, right? I'm seeing guns skittering through puddles on the bathroom floor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. After my small days, it didn't take me too long to learn that I was better off, and I was fully capable of concealing even a larger pistol, and certainly much more confident shooting it. So I kind of went to the other end of the spectrum in a whipsaw fashion, and ended up carrying a Beretta 92 FS full size for years. I carried it inside the waistband. Kind of for a while. I didn't go in the back, not in the center, but kind of offside, like 4:30, 5 o'clock area and all that. And it was no big deal, hiding that thing once I figured out quality holsters matter, and a good belt to support everything matters. So still there, still carry. I'm still almost always carry something that the manufacturers call mid-size or bigger. Fit all my fingers on it and all that. So.
Yeah, I still have the Ruger 380 LCP. I've still held on to it just because it is a great size for concealability, especially as a female if I'm wearing something like leggings, going for walk around the neighborhood, taking the kids to the park, whatever. It's a great size for that. But I held on to that, and that was my carry gun for years and years until earlier this year. My husband finally took the hint and got me the SIG P365X. I wanted the 365. He totally forgot that I said anything about it. He bought himself the P365, came home with it, and he was like, hey, check out what I got a good deal on. And I was like, thanks. That's the one that I went to the range and tried and told you how much I liked it.
How did he enjoy sleeping on the couch?
Well, he works nights, so, he's used to getting kicked out of the bed anyway because he snores all day long. But
ouch, I feel attacked.
Yeah. So a few months later for my birthday, getting me the 365X because we didn't need two of the same one, and he just thought that slight variation was enough to make up for his oversight.
Nice recovery, Mav.
Yeah. Around the same time, I was also sent the Walther Arms PDP F series, which was developed and designed by women, with women in mind, or with people who maybe have like a little bit of a disability or smaller hands or something like that. And they sent me that for review, and I liked it so much. I said, hey, can I buy this one? So now I've got that one, and I kind of switch back and forth between those two. Yeah,
at this point, I've landed at one of our current micro 9 stack and a half. I usually carry a Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro with a Shield RMS2 on it and a spare magazine in a dedicated appendix holster. And I found that ended up along this journey going from bad holster covered in 15 layers of clothing with a gun that only held 7 rounds. Now I'm at a point where I'm comfortable wearing, shorts and a t-shirt with 31 rounds on me, and I know nobody notices. And if they do, kick rocks. What do I care? It's all legal.
I'll be delicate here, but is the internet censored? I don't know. Just in case it is, right?
Not at all.
Seriously,
nope.
Everybody worry. I think you just hit the nail on the head. We all worry, when starting to carry concealed, that everybody and their brother sees it, and they know we have a gun, and they notice the tiniest little wrinkle in your shirt or jacket or whatever is covering it. It's like, if you stop and think about it, no one on planet Earth, well maybe like Jeffrey Epstein or something, but no one else goes around day to day staring at people's midsection, right?
Yeah, totally.
Was that a nice way to say that?
That was a very nice way to say that. And also, being in Colorado, we have almost 700,000 permit holders here, and there's all the states whose permit we recognize. So chances are, if they see that I have a gun, they probably have one too, and they're like, "What's up, brother?" I think we're okay.
Yeah, I never worry about that, and we've got an added benefit these days. I mean, the past 10 or 15 years, everybody walking around in public has got their face in their phone. So they don't even see any of you, much less what's going on around your midsection, right?
Zero situational awareness. It drives me insane every time I leave the house.
Well, maybe this is a good transition. So I thought maybe we'd close up today with thinking back on your early carry experiences. What advice would you each give someone who is just starting or thinking about carrying a concealed firearm?
Well, the two that I've already touched on, smaller is not always better, usually quite the opposite, and don't buy a gun if you haven't shot one before. Go to the range, rent them, try out a few different ones. Naively, that's what I did when I was in college and turned of age to get my first handgun. And guns weren't new to me. I was just always a long gun person because I did a lot of hunting. It had been probably 15 years at that point since I recalled shooting a handgun, and it was my dad's .357 Magnum when I was like 5 years old. So here I am. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm comfortable with guns, and let's go to the gun show and see what they have. And they give me this cute little 380 LCP that's smaller than the palm of my hand, and I was like, sold, I'll take it. And then I took it to the range for the first time, and I was like, oh, what did I just do?
But it is a great gun to have once you really learn how to shoot.
Yeah, it is a great gun.
I think it's more of an expert's gun, you know?
It serves its purpose for what you would need it for in a situation for self-defense when you're actually going to use it. I think it's great. I do still carry it occasionally. Just taking it to the range, putting rounds through it, getting that trigger time in. It's not what I reach for first.
I would say there's a lot of people relying on advice from experts without learning things on their own. I think that it's good to listen to what the experts out there say, but you need to kind of go with your own journey too, because this is such a personal thing, right? You know, if your favorite instructor or whatever tells you should always carry appendix, yeah, go ahead and try it. But also maybe try some things that you wouldn't expect to like. You know, I used to make a lot of fun of people who use belly bands until I had a traveling sales job and I was in my car all the time. And man, belly bands are so comfortable. Don't look at things as right or wrong. Look at them as pluses and minuses, and ultimately think of your whole carrying experience as a system. Belt, holster, gun. You know, it's not just the gun or just the holster.
Yeah, like you said, to echo that, it's really subjective, and I think that's obvious if you look at the comment section on any of our YouTube videos, which, hint, hint, hit the subscribe button. But every time we, do a new video, there's comments from both ends of the spectrum. You know, I hate this gun. I hate that one. Oh, I love it. It's my favorite gun. I bought two. It's subjective. It's up to you as a person and your body type and personal preferences and all of that. So take the reviews and everyone sharing their 2 cents with a grain of salt.
Well, I have great points all. And I would add my big thing is don't make excuses for not carrying the gun you shoot best. Whatever it is, in my case, back in a long time ago, the gun I shot best was a Beretta 92. So I said, okay, if I ever get into a situation where I need it, I want the gun that I shoot best. So I figured out how to carry it with, like you guys just said, focusing on gear, focusing on the whole system, think big. So you can carry a larger gun. You don't need to carry the micro. I just got back from a class at Gunsight, and one of the instructors was Illing New. I don't know if either of you have met her. She's about 5 foot nothing, maybe weighs 105 pounds soaking wet. She carries a full-size 1911 every day. No excuses. You can do it.
Yeah, usually I hear people in classes, they say, "Oh, I have this $3,000 Nighthawk 1911 that it's the best. I can hit a penny at 50 yards with it. Oh, is that what you carry?" And they go, "Oh no, I don't want the police to take it from me if I have to use it. No, I carry this old beat up J-frame, like maybe hit a can 3 feet away." I'm like, it's just a thing. Just carry the one that you're good with.
If I use a gun to save my life, I don't care if the police hold on to my nice gun for the next year or forever. I'll find a way to get another one. I'm alive to do that, right? With that said, great ideas, folks. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and be sure and subscribe so you get a heads up on new episodes of Gun Cranks. And in the meantime, check us all out at AmericanHandgunner.com, GunsMagazine.com, and AmericanCop.com. Don't forget to check out our FMG Publications channel on YouTube as well. We've got lots of other videos there in addition to these on our Gun Cranks channel. So have a great week, everybody, and we will see you next time.
And follow us on social media.
From our digital editor. Don't forget that last plug.
Had to squeeze that in there at the end before we go.
Good work. Good work.